My name is Maurie Mulheron. I'm a teacher, I'm a principal, and I'm also president of the New South Wales Teachers Federation. Today, concerned citizens of New South Wales are meeting here at Darling Harbour, Sydney, and in 20 venues across New South Wales and regional cities and country town. Today, the profession is joined by parents, grandparents, support staff, school cleaners, TAFE students, and many others to defend the learning opportunities of our students. Today, citizens are expressing the deep fears they hold for the future of public education in this state. Today, citizens assemble in their thousands to send one clear message to the government: reverse the cuts and reinstate the jobs already lost. Let's be absolutely clear why we are here today. Today's event is called Putting Students First, and this campaign has three priorities: students, students, and students. But there should be no need to rally, because there is no need for the state government to rip $1.7 billion out of the education system. There should be no crisis in public education. Our schools and colleges are dynamic, innovative, successful, and generally filled with happy young people whose parents and caregivers have placed their trust in the teaching profession. Yet there is a crisis in public education policy. It is a crisis that is manufactured by government. And allow me for a few minutes now to explain in detail what the state government is doing. Last year, they swept into power on the promise that they would protect and advance frontline services, including education. By September 2011, Treasurer Mike Baird, or Magic Mike as he's now become known, given that he can lose and find $1 billion overnight, announced a so-called school autonomy policy that would become known as local schools, local decisions. He announced this as an example of, and I quote Magic Mike, delivering on economic and fiscal reform. Of course, it was a marketing term. I hear the Department of Education were told by Treasury to try and get the word local in at least 3 or 4 times, but local schools, local decisions just didn't have a ring. In reality, the term local schools, local decisions is an advertising slogan designed to sell a massive reduction in funding for our schools. Its essential purpose is to gut the system by reducing the number of people employed in our schools. It is designed to leave schools isolated and without support. Far from empowering any principal, let alone a school community, all it does is allow principals to self-manage the decline of their schools. In short, local schools, local decisions will become a recurring exercise for each school community to decide what to do without. So this is more than just about cuts. Cuts may heal if treated, but permanent structural changes will never be restored. This is why Treasury officials sought the policy in the first place. The losses will be ongoing. So let's just see what is planned for staffing levels. Instead of staffing schools on the basis of demand created by student enrolments, student subject choice and learning needs, the schools will be staffed on a basis of a staffing budget, a bucket of money. The government calls this flexibility. We call it uncertainty. The gamble for the community of New South Wales is this: will there always be enough money in the school staffing budget to meet the school's needs? Or will that staffing bucket be reduced by the Treasurer next year, or the year after, or at any time in the future? The Department has confirmed that the only allocated position in schools will be principal and classroom teacher. There'll be no mandated executive teaching positions, such as assistant principal, deputy, or head teachers of faculties, and no mandated specialist positions, such as counsellors, teacher librarians, learning support. We also know there'll be over 1,600 support teachers, support positions, teachers' aides, front office staff lost from our schools. As a recent department document reveals, schools may maintain their current staffing entitlement if they wish, including notional, executive and specialist positions. May, if they wish, notional. Hands up all the Year 12 kids who would like to try to locate a notional head teacher science to help them prepare for their next physics assessment task. It is, of course, an absurd proposition. Notional teachers are fine as long as we have notional students undertaking notional courses and sitting for notional examinations and then going home to notional parents. But if it is a real student, he or she deserves access to a real head teacher science or mathematics or English. Next, we'll have notional train drivers and wonder why we're all sitting at the platform not going anywhere. While there may have been some people beguiled by words such as local or empowering or autonomy, we now just see how vicious, just how damaging this agenda is. For months now, the Department of Education has been secretly planning to get rid of over 1,000 teaching and support positions. The department calls this functional realignment. A functional realignment. I kid you not. I don't know why, but for my sins, I get to sit opposite department officials who sit straight-faced and tell me the loss of hundreds of teaching positions out of our schools, and they call it a functional realignment to create a better line of sight for principals. Line of sight. Is that not an assassin's term? Functional realignment indeed. The department has been decimated. Let's call it for what it is, the gutting of our system. It amounts to easily the most severe and significant loss of positions from the Department of Education in this state's history. The cuts are deep and go to almost every aspect of support for schools and their students. It must be noted that, like all aspects of local schools, local decisions, the department, acting under instructions from the government, is attempting to keep hidden any information on which positions and which programs have been cut. But what we do know should alarm every teacher and every parent. This state has 750,000 students enrolled in 2,300 schools. And this is what the government is doing to support those students. The Curriculum Directorate has gone, has support for advantaged low SES schools. All ESL multicultural positions are gone, including the loss of refugee support officers. Support for Aboriginal education has been halved. At a time when teachers are meant to introduce a national curriculum, every primary and secondary subject specialist position outside of Sydney has been abolished. What remains is only one primary, one secondary specialist for each subject within the Sydney metropolitan area. Reading recovery tutors have also been deleted. All positions supporting new scheme teachers, gone. The regional's new arrival English second language program has been deleted. The drug education unit, a world-class resource, has gone. The arts unit has now no clerical support, neither does the state's sports programs. And both arts and sports will have to cut programs in order to buy clerical support. And the list of cuts goes on and on. There is another government policy created by Treasury called Every Student, Every School. It is designed to cap and reduce support to some of our most vulnerable students, those with diagnosed special learning needs. It is nothing more than an accounting device that the state government is using to deliver some of the efficiency savings required by the New South Wales Treasury. The cuts include school reading language classes, early support programs, as well as learning support officers and specialist teacher support. Already, 272 schools have lost funding support. And as for principal autonomy, we could ask the principal of a North Coast primary school what he thinks principal autonomy means, given he was threatened last month with disciplinary action along with his staff for daring to inform the parents of special needs students that his school had lost $57,000 in state funding under the Every Student, Every School policy. And now to our TAFE system. An initial 800 teaching and support jobs are to go. Allow me to read from just one TAFE Institute's list of what is being lost. Remembering this will be happening right across New South Wales. It is a document from the Sydney TAFE Institute. Here is a sample of the losses. It's only a sample, the list is too long to read out. Vehicle trimming, deleted. Panel beating, deleted. Business and legal services, deleted. Community services and health, deleted. Commercial cookery, deleted. Catering, hospitality, food technology, HSC courses, hairdressing, optical dispensing, all targeted for deletion. Down in Wagga, the Riverina TAFE Institute ran the largest technical training program in Australia. It was called the National Aerospace Training Centre, and it turned out 1,000 graduates a year. Last Thursday afternoon, we learned that the Riverina TAFE Institute will lose the contract from next March to run the training centre, resulting in the loss of 114 teaching and support positions from Wagga. And our real fear now is that it may now be taught by a private, for-profit provider funded by the government. We also know that fine arts students have been hit hard with commercial fees being imposed. This is effectively a tax on learning designed to discourage and cripple those courses. It is a Philistine policy. A government that turns against the arts is a government without a soul. And can anyone guess what the recently released government TAFE policy is called? Smart and skilled. I challenge the government to explain to the community what is smart and skilled about destroying our TAFE system, particularly when there has been a dramatic decline in the number of young people engaged in full-time work or study at a time of a national skills shortage. There is simply no excuse for these cuts. Australia has experienced 20 years of continuous economic growth, and we have very low debt levels. We know that for each dollar we spend on TAFE, there's a return of $6 to the New South Wales economy. So, I call upon every person assembled here today to commit to the following on behalf of students in our public schools and TAFE colleges. We will keep this campaign alive for as long as it takes. We will sign up to become members of a community-based volunteer force that will ensure that this issue remains on the political agenda of this state in every school, in every TAFE college, in every suburb, in every town, in every regional city, in every electorate, this month, next year, and to the state election and beyond if necessary. As adults, we take seriously our moral and historical obligation to protect and advance the interests of our children and our young people. We will never willingly hand to the next generation of teachers, parents and students a weakened and diminished public education system. In short, we will all sign up for the fight. So will you commit to this campaign? Will you stand up for public education? Now, our profession is tired of a few things. We are tired Our profession is tired of a few things. We are tired of big corporate accounting firms like PricewaterhouseCoopers and Boston Consulting getting paid tens of millions of dollars by government to advise them on how to gut our public education system. We are tired of the policies, tired of the pronouncements that are filled with managerial claptrap and jargon, sick of the cliches. We are tired of the deceit, tired of the weasel words like functional realignment, tired of a treasury populated by economic fundamentalists who know the cost of everything but the value of nothing. But we will never, ever tire of fighting for our students. I thank you all for your commitment to public education that you have demonstrated by your attendance today. But it won't be enough. I call upon you, sign up to become a member of a volunteer force so that we can maintain this campaign for as long as it takes to reverse the policies of this government. For as long as it takes, friends, for as long as it takes.